30 seconds in, the judge wastes no time. Straight to the point, setting the courtroom tone like a hammer striking steel.
Up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. Okay. On February 28th, 2025, the officer observed a vehicle run a red light on Derry Ashford and Westheimer at a high rate of speed. And upon catching up with the vehicle, the officer observed the vehicle run another red light at Kirkwood and Westheimer, both intersections in Harris County, Texas. The vehicle was estimated to be traveling at 80 miles per hour, and a traffic stop was conducted. The officer observed glossy eyes, slurred speech, and the defendant was unaware she had run the lights. The officer asked the defendant to exit the vehicle and observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and an empty container of an alcoholic beverage and a half-empty open container of wine. Standard for
drinking while driving?
There were open containers, Your Honor. And standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 4 out of 4, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. And DIC was read. The defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.146 and 0.144.
And I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Are you telling me that she's consuming alcohol while she's driving, Alex?
Let me read the full judgment, Your Honor, and see if there's any.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. If I find that you consume alcohol or illegal drugs, then I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Your Honor, they were just partially full. There's no indication they were cold to the touch or anything like that.
There is no observation of her drinking while driving.
And then I'll run her license, Your Honor.
Anytime you have an open container in a car, it's a minimum of 5 days in jail, flat to any sentence that you get. I would hope that it's elementary that you don't have alcohol in the car while you're driving.
Oh, Your Honor.
All right. You have a lawyer because you have.
At 2:10, the pressure builds. The defense tries to pivot, but the judge's sharp tone keeps the balance of power clear.
All right. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you meet with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then you're free to go.
All right, Judge. How's April 15th through the 17th?
Thank you, Judge. Have a nice Valentine's Day.
Jay, we need to get your date. April 15th. April 15th through the 17th.
15th sounds good, Judge.
Yeah. Okay, we got you.
Thanks, Your Honor. Have a good Valentine's Day. Enjoy the weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye, Judge.
Camacho?
Yes, sir.
Do you need a translator?
No, Judge.
Okay. Come on up, Mr. Camacho. You are Diego Camacho.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Camacho, you're charged with failure to stop and give information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 7th, 2025, officers were dispatched to Hardy Road in Harris County, Texas, in regard to a minor crash, failure to stop and give information call. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with the complainant, who was also in police uniform. The complainant stated he was driving on the freeway when another vehicle got into his lane and cut him off to make the exit. The defendant got over and hit the front right panel of his truck with the back driver's side of the defendant's vehicle. The complainant followed the defendant, who had his hazards on, but the defendant did not pull over. The complainant continued to follow the defendant's vehicle until the 911 operator told him to stop following. The complainant gave a description of the defendant's vehicle, and a license plate number to the dispatcher. The complainant pulled over and waited for the officers to make a report with an estimated damage of $2,000. The officers ran the license plate and found the vehicle registered to an address on Skinner Road, and the officers traveled to the location and met with the defendant and his father. The officers were given consent to enter the property, looked at the vehicle, and observed damage. The defendant stated he was crossing the lane to get over because there was an opening and that the truck accelerated and hit him. The defendant stated the complainant already hit him and was close behind him, so he kept going. The defendant stated he turned down his street and the complainant kept going. The defendant's address is approximately 7 miles from where the accident occurred.
Okay.
So, Judge, if I may, the complainant was only stopped following him while he had his hazards because he was told on the 911 call. And also, I see on the summary that when they run his license plates, this license.
By 4:45, evidence comes alive. Every detail matters. Every slip could flip the outcome.
And additionally, if the correct license plates were also run, then it would actually show that he's not the owner of the vehicle. So I'm not sure how they were able to identify.
Well, somehow they got to the house, right?
Yes, Judge. They ran it and they got to an address and they went there and met with the defendant.
And then he states that he was driving, right, and the collision occurred, and then he took off. Your license plate, I have no idea. I mean, did they have the full license plate, or did they not?
Your Honor, at this time, I don't know. The DIMS just states, as counsel said, just GS9711. So I don't know in the full office report if it says the full license plate number, but either way, they ran a license plate and they returned.
Somehow they were able to get it to him. I don't know. I mean, if you discover something later that's different, come back and we can revisit probable cause. I'm happy to do that at any time.
Judge. And so the reason I say that is because I have the tags for that vehicle, and that's not the license plates that we had on the summary. And that's
really, we'd have to set it for a formal hearing.
Okay, Judge.
Because I have to give them time to be able to respond to that as well. Because that's more. I mean, this is just a mere probable cause here.
Your Honor, in the OR there is the complete license plate. It's RSG, and it continues on. So.
That's fine, Judge.
So you're saying it was in the DIMS?
In the DIMS, it was missing a letter, but in the full OR, they have the complete license number.
Pull the 911 tapes. See what the 911 tape says, right? It may be different, Maybe they'll have the whole thing on the 911 tape,
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Camacho, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you run his license? See, he has a valid license.
We're running, Your Honor.
You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is a condition of your bond. So if I find that you're driving and you don't have a license or you don't have insurance, I'm going to revoke your bond. I'll put you in jail. No more PR bonds.
Your Honor.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you have a lawyer. Good job having a lawyer, because you do. I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with her. You don't have to come back to court. She'll let you know when you have to come back to court. All right? All right, I'm going to have you sign a wreath of Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. All right? Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
Right, the council is approaching on page 16. Thompson, come on up.
Can you follow those conditions, Alex, please?
There's no conflict with complaining and which other.
I didn't say that, but that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
And then no license, no insurance. No drug.
Okay.
Go ahead and have a seat in the jury box.
This is Lauren Thompson.
Yeah.
You are Lauren Thompson.
Yeah.
Ms. Thompson, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
One moment, Your Honor. It's Thompson, correct?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay. On February 8th, 2025, the officers were traveling on 4300 Luella Avenue in Deer Park and observed a motor vehicle driving with an expired license plate. The officer confirmed with TCIC and CIC and performed a traffic stop. Upon making contact with the defendant, he observed bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to consuming 3 alcoholic seltzers, and standard field sobriety tests were administered. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 8 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and refused to provide a sample, and a blood search warrant was signed and executed.
All right, Ms. Thompson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Any prior to DBIs, and does she have a license?
No priors, Your Honor, and I'm running her license right now.
She doesn't have any priors.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. As long as you're not using, everything will be fine. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yeah. We'd like to state that she did tell the officer that she had taken some medication. So she did explain to the officer that she was under some medication. So we would like the concern. Our concern is the revocation of her license. There's motions for.
I'm not revoking her license. I mean, you may continue to drive. Just if it does become suspended at a later point, you just have to be cognizant of that it does, that you're not allowed to drive. So just be careful. I don't know what's going to happen with the ALR hearing and all that. So just be careful. Now, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with her, and she'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. Just don't consume alcohol. Don't use illegal drugs. If you're taking or no unprescribed controlled medication. If you're taking medication prescribed by a doctor, that's absolutely fine.
It's eligible, Your Honor.
Okay. Just understand that if you're taking a controlled substance, even prescribed by a doctor, if you take too much, it can be an intoxicant. And if you get in a car, it's bad news. So you just be very, very careful. You understand?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to have you sign a resale with Victoria. We'll have you sign your bond condition with Felicia, and then you guys are free to go. Thanks. That way.
All right, Judge. Next judge is page. Do you want the ones without attorneys first?
I don't care. Just
Okay, page 1. Oh, I'm sorry, 2.
don't matter.
Alti, Ahmed.
Have you heard from Eddie? Do you know if he's coming? Have you talked to your lawyer? Do you know if he's coming?
I have he's already at the courthouse. I think he's in another courtroom right now.
Yeah, I guess let's wait for the lawyers to see when. Yeah, it's all right. Just take a seat for me, sir.
All right,
Don't
thank
leave.
you. She'll get her reset.
Hey, what's up?
All right, Judge. Next is page 6 and 7. Herrera, come on up.
You were Anderson Herrera. All right. Mr. Herrera, you're charged with criminal trespass. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 6, 2025, the officer was notified by a witness that a former student, the defendant, was inside Spring High School. The defendant was unenrolled from the school by the associate principal on February 4, 2025, and was told not to return. Spring ISD school records show the defendant is no longer an active student, and the school officer and associate principal advised the defendant to leave on February 6th a second time, not to return. The officer observed the defendant walking on the walkway with other students, and the defendant continued to walk in the officer's direction. The officer observed the defendant pull his hoodie over his head while walking towards the bus ramp area. The officer was in full uniform and gave the defendant a verbal command to stop and follow the officer to his patrol vehicle. The defendant disregarded these verbal commands and began walking in the opposite direction. The officer grabbed the defendant by his left arm, and the defendant began to resist, pulling away to the point where he started coming out of his hoodie. The officer verbally commanded the defendant to stop, and the defendant broke loose and used evasive foot maneuvers to gain distance from the officer in the direction of an open parking lot. The officer notified Spring ISD police and requested assistance. The defendant was detained 300 yards from the initial interaction.
So he was where?
He was at Spring High School.
I know, but was he in the outside or was he?
He was on the outside walking towards a parking lot, walking with a group of students when the officer interacted with him.
He was outside. Was he any
Still
point
on the property owner of Spring High School, and they told him not to return to that high school. They told him on the 4th of February not to return to the high school. And he was on the property.
I understand that, but he's on the outskirts. He's on the sidewalk.
He was walking on a walkway with other students.
Walkway of the school.
It was
near the parking lot of the school, which is owned by the school.
Yes, Judge. It was the walkway with other students, and that's when the officer saw him and tried to make contact with him.
I mean, I'd like to know where. You know, is he on public property? Is he just on a sidewalk on the outside of the school? You know, just walking.
He was with other students on the walkway walking towards the bus.
Further in the DMs, it describes it as the walkway near the portable buildings located north of the band parking lot. So
let's do this, Mr. Herrera. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer today so we can get down and dirty with your case a little bit more. Just take a seat for me in the jury box. Let me get you a lawyer, okay?
Judge, can I get on the sign first?
Oh, yeah. Let me have you sign a receipt real quick. Can you go ahead and appoint him a lawyer so we can print? No.
All right, Judge. Next is going to be page 7. No, 8.